Okay, and the angry hacks are coming at you. Wow, is a lot to talk about, boys. Wow. We've got baseball. We've got football. We've got basketball. We might even touch on a little hockey. The sports world is blowing up right now. It is a beautiful Wednesday night, and there's a lot to talk about because we are covering everything tonight. My boys are here. My hacks are here. Michael Hall, how you feeling tonight?
Oh, that's a silly question. I'm feeling good.
I knew you would. Knew you would. Very fresh, very fresh. And Stan the man, how's it going, bro?
Somber day in Celtic land.
Very, very somber. And we will get to that for you, brother. We got to talk. We got to start with the baseball, though. We have to start with the baseball. The Yankees just won again, 3 in a row at home, take a 3-2 series lead. And our resident hack, Michael Hall, you went to the game last night, man. How was that?
Oh, dude. I think Joe Buck mentioned it tonight that Girardi was talking about the stadium, about how it just has such a different feel. And we talked about it when the place opened back in 2008. You get that feeling like it was, that stuffy kind of corporate feel to it, and all the diehards are kind of priced out of the place, and you just had a bunch of suits kind of showing up an hour late, leaving an hour early. There was no juice in the building. There's no buzz. Guys, last night, and I've been to a playoff game in the old stadium in 2005, and they won that game against the Angels. But last night, the place exploded. The place was absolutely insane. That eighth inning, or the seventh and eighth, where it was absolutely electric. A lot of fun. I was up in the stratosphere, 434B. Shout out to all the bums up there. Those kids were cool up there. And it was a lot of fun. And this team, man, just unbelievable. From the comeback in the wild card game to beating Corey Kluber twice, essentially, in a 5-game series, to finally getting to Dallas Keuchel, beating him tonight. I think Starlin Castro is the MVP of tonight's game. He didn't do much, but that double, it was like you finally saw someone square up a Dallas Keuchel pitch and hit it hard. I felt like I've never seen it before. And it's almost like it was the first chink in the armor. It was the first little bit of light, the first feeling of, hey, maybe we can hit. It was like Rocky IV, he's not a machine, he's a man. We can beat this guy. And then Bird follows suit. First run comes in, and we were on our way. And this team, we want to talk about mojo. I know it's all at home. We're sitting nice, being up 3-2. Going to Houston is going to be a different story. But you know what? I don't care. I'll take this team anywhere right now. It's a special, special club.
It really is, man. And it's crazy. This team just has all the momentum right now. And it's amazing what I've seen, as a Met fan. I'm just a baseball fan. And it's awesome. Rye, we've talked about how great playoff baseball is, even if your team's not in it. But there's something about when they go home and play in front of those Yankee Stadium fans that's like nothing else. They just re-energize themselves, and the team all around just gets pumped up. And what I've been seeing these last 3 games, every ball is hit hard. I feel like every ball is hit hard. It's crazy. They keep working these deep counts, fouling ball after ball after ball. And it's I hate to say it, it's fun to watch. What do you feel about this, right? I hate to say it, but it's fun to watch.
You know what? It's great to watch. I've been glued to the TV. I missed a little bit last night because I'm watching the Celtic game, but I saw most of the game, and it was always my flip back channel, and just the guts and the balls on all of these Yankees. They got some big fucking balls.
Huge balls.
I'm
Huge.
jealous. I'm literally jealous. I know that like you guys as Yankee fans like have, have loved that '96 team because you didn't have all these superstars, and that's what this is again.
Yeah.
That's what this again. You don't have the superstar. I mean, Judge had a superstar season, and he's treated like a superstar, but it's his rookie year. He's not a superstar yet. None of these guys really are, and you're getting guys like Headley now having a big night. You're having guys like Castro, like you said, finally seeing a ball well off a Keuchel, getting a big hit. Tanaka, can you say enough about this guy?
No.
I mean, I've enjoyed watching. I'm jealous. I think the Yankees, this is they have a lead now, so it's not like I'm going out on a limb saying I think they're going to make it to the series, but I feel pretty good that they're going to win one of two here in Cleveland, and they're going to make it to the World Series, Mike.
Well, in Houston, you mean? You said Cleveland.
Oh, my bad. I say Cleveland.
I know
Oh, that's right. They already beat them.
We slayed that dragon already. Now, listen, it's Severino against Verlander, so I like our chances. I got a lot to catch up on here. We can't spend all night on it, but Verlander, as well as he pitched in Game 2, I thought he was very beatable. I thought he was pretty fat in the zone, to be honest. And you look at his line, and he's saying, "What are you crazy?" They weren't, I don't think he should have ended up with that good of a result. I didn't like our approach at the plate. He was tremendous. I don't want to take anything away from the guy, but he was hittable, and we didn't hit him. We left a lot on the table against him. So I don't see a repeat performance of that. I think we can get to him. And if we don't, we have CC in Game 7. I mean, how do you not love that against Charlie Morton? Who are they going to throw 7, right?
It's going to be staffed by committee at that rate.
Yes.
Probably, but someone's got to start it, and who the hell is it going to be? So,
and if you can get the Verlander in Game 6, that might be a staff by committee.
Right, and let's talk about staff by committee. I talked about it before the series. This bullpen can be had, and we bludgeoned them. We have bludgeoned this bullpen. It was good eats last night on everybody they brought out there. I don't care who it was. You bring in Joe Musgrove, get the fuck out of here. Giles shrunk up like a slug, like a dried up slug under the lights. and you know what? We talk about our bullpen, but the rotation. I mean, good Lord. Tanaka Game 1 was very, very good. The one inning they got to him, what started with an Altuve infield single, a stolen base, a hit, just a little, they squared him up, but they weren't knocking him around the park. He pitched very, very well. Severino in Game 2 pitched very, very well until whatever happened to him. He took that line drive off his forearm, but he was kind of stretching his shoulder out, which, makes you hold your breath, but apparently he's fine. He pitched well for whatever it was, 4+. CC, of course, just keeps doing what he's doing. And Sonny Gray last night was excellent. So against this offense.
And Severino.
Well, yeah, I mentioned Severino. I mean, he had a kind of an abbreviated start in Game 2, but he was very good. Yeah. So, I mean, George Springer and Josh Reddick, the 1-2 in their lineup, they have two. They have 2. Well, Springer had a hit in the 9th tonight, I think. So they're like 3 for 30 something combined. So,
they've looked awful.
And Altuve, we controlled him here in the Bronx, but when he's coming up with nobody on, I like that a lot better. So, I mean, everything. These 3 games, everything worked. So we'll see. I mean, I really, really like their chances just because of what we have in Game 7 waiting. We have CC against their staff. Morton wasn't bad he hung in for a while. But listen, momentum and all that's great, but in baseball, momentum's only as good as the next day's starting pitcher. So I kind of wish they were just playing tomorrow. I don't want a day off. I don't think any Yankee wants a day off. We just keep playing. Houston's begging for it, and they're going to get it, which it's understandable. It's a travel day. But it is what it is. I mean, we're playing tremendous baseball right now, and why the hell not? Why not?
Right, but in reality, even though you don't want the off day, in reality, the off day only helps the Yankees more here. all of those arms extra fresh. All of them are extra fresh now.
Yeah, I see your point, but I mean, when you're playing this well,
I know you don't want any days.
I want to play it because you know what? Let's test the depth of the bullpens. I'll take the Yankees, so let's just play tomorrow.
Yeah,
And there's nothing you could do about it. I understand. It's it's a travel day, so I know how it works. But
Yeah.
yeah, God, I just wish they would just play tomorrow because they're that hot. And dude, the Yankee Stadium last night when Sanchez hit that double, if there was a roof, it would have been blown to Mars. It was unbelievable. Beer was flying all over the place. People were dancing with people they've never met, but it was unbelievable. It was really, really cool. And I hope there's some more games at Yankee Stadium this year. Put it that way.
For me, dude, I think there will be. I think there's no doubt about that there will be. I was trying to look at like all phases of the game between these two teams, between the Yankees and the Astros, and for some reason, I'm writing all this stuff down, and I can't find where the Astros are better right now because they're not. I mean, even the offense, the Yankees have a better 1 through 9. I mean, Brian McCann's freaking awful. He's awful. He's your 9. He's their 9 here. He's awful. Bregman's okay, but he's young. He's young. He's okay, but 1 through 9. I don't know, man. When you have Todd Frazier hitting 9, it's not bad.
Well,
Headley was 9 tonight, right?
Yeah. I mean, what 3 hits?
He's 5 for 11 in the series now. Well, just
I know after going 0 for whatever.
Well, he was getting close, and even when he was still looking for his first hit, even back to the Cleveland series, I remember that at bat against Miller where he worked that walk. It's not like he was lost. He was having pretty good at bats, just not getting results. And he's stuck with it, and now you're seeing the hits and you're seeing the production. And yeah, it makes the lineup so much deeper when, Todd Frazier and Chase Headley are at the bottom of your lineup. I mean, and those are middle of the order guys.
Right. And you know what? I mean, I think their lineup 1 through 9 is better. Obviously, you touched on it. The Yankees starting pitching is much deeper. I mean, you talked about the bullpen hasn't had to do much, because the starters have been giving them length. They really have. They've been giving them length and enough length. I mean, especially in the playoffs where a hook is really quick. Well, they've been doing a great job.
5 innings length, Rye.
Exactly. 5 innings, amazing in the playoffs. And Mike, you talked about. I mean, the bullpen is way better than the Astros bullpen sucks. They suck. I mean. They suck, or you just have their number. I have no idea. They look freaking horrible. But you know what? You're beating them up. You're beating them up good, and you're making them shit their pants or whatever. But they look terrible in the bullpen. And I think your depth and your bench is way better too.
Yeah, we haven't really explored that much, but
no, I'm just saying, like bringing Headley in and giving another guy off or whatever. I mean, it's just you got a couple of guys on your bench that I feel like that you would feel pretty confident putting them in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. You saw yesterday with Romine got the start behind the plate, and I mean, you look at their lineup and the season they had. Talking about Houston, that 1 through 9 will scare the shit out of you the way they played. But a lot can change. It's so funny in the playoffs how all these storylines and these narratives change, and all of a sudden Carlos Correa just kind of looks pedestrian, and Josh Rat and George Springer just can't buy a hit. And the only guy that has really threatened. I mean, Altuve is always a threat. He hasn't shown really. I don't think he has. 1 extra base hit. It's a lot of singles. He's always a tough out. But the one guy who's really scaring you right now is Gurriel. But that's one guy. Bregman's not hitting. McCann's not hitting. Beltran's not hitting. Springer's not hitting. Correa's hitting a little. Reddick's not hitting. You go up and down the line, and all of our guys are to a certain. Gardner's not, Hicks isn't, but. Big advantage offensively for us.
This is the difference, and I'm so happy Ryan mentioned this just a second ago about this offense, your Yankees offense being better 1 through 9 than the Astros. Now the Astros batted what, like 282 in the regular season?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it was sick. Remember?
the Astros had the much better offense coming into the postseason. But there's a difference when you're in postseason baseball. Every pitch has, the pitchers aren't taking they're not having a lazy inning or a lazy pitch here. Every pitch is meaningful.
Right.
And Josh Reddick has looked lost.
Yeah.
More lost than Judge looked in the last, when in his struggles. Like, he's looked terrible. This guy batted like 312 this year.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned, Mike said something else about just how, the end of the lineup having Headley at the end and Frazier at the end. And then Ryan said McCann being duty or whatever. Looking at coming in, I'm like, oh, McCann, that's a good hitter to have, in, bat in 8th or 9th. But you know what? He sucks. And Headley and Frazier are getting big time hits. That home run the other day by Frazier, that
almost check
like
swing.
A wiffle ball bat.
It was the strangest home run you'll ever see.
And you know what? But this guy, he just comes up with big plays. He looks like a great clubhouse dude.
Oh, they love him. They absolutely love him.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he's like the glue in that. They say CC it's CC's clubhouse for sure, but Frazier just kind of like CC's vice president in there. I mean, it's fun to watch when it's a good mix of a lot of youth and the right mix of good veterans that get it, and the guys that can get along and they play for each other and they pick up their manager. And that was a Frazier thing too. Frazier deflected a lot of attention away from Girardi after the snafu in Cleveland and said, you know what, we'll just go out and win games for him. And
one thing about Girardi, you mentioned Romine starting for Sanchez yesterday. Not only was that good for Sonny Gray, but I think that was very beneficial to Gary Sanchez to not have to worry about defense all of a sudden and able to just worry about hitting. And what happened yesterday?
Yeah, the huge double. I mean,
you got that
and the sack fly to make it 4-2 as well.
No, he hit that hard. That was like a hard line drive.
That was a bullet. And that was a big one too. So
and then it relaxed him. And then today he hits the homer. It just, you can't say enough about certain moves that are going on here. I know Girardi made those mistakes earlier, but he's executing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah. So guys, if I may, I kind of just read upon something that I thought was quite funny. You know how you can change things on Wikipedia very easily. I guess somebody changed Tanaka's Wikipedia page, and it says Masahiro Tanaka. Masahiro Tanaka is a Japanese professional baseball starting pitcher for the New York Yankees of Major League Baseball and the owner of the Houston Astros. I just love that. I think it's hilarious.
Well, yeah, okay. Glad you brought that up because I got another good one I meant to say.
Go ahead.
He got knocked around by this team in the regular season. You remember that start early in the year on Derek Jeter Day. We had that doubleheader, and God. Tanaka could barely get out of the second inning. Houston teed off. Springer hit one out. I think Reddick hit one. They were just teeing off on him, and it was the split. He was hanging a lot of splits that day. He was spinning cement mixer sliders that just spun in the middle. And then game one, my boy Tom Verducci pointed this out. He threw hardly any split-fingered fastballs game one, and it seemed to work. He threw a lot of four-seamers, and it was almost like Houston wasn't ready for it. They were sitting on that soft split and the other off-speed stuff. It worked, and it set up tonight. Now all of a sudden he goes back to the split, and man, was that split. Do you see that strikeout to Reddick tonight?
Oh, my God.
That split, it looked like a wiffle ball.
Yeah.
I would have checked that ball for sandpaper or something. That ball was ridiculous. So a good game plan by him and Rothschild, going back into the tank and coming up with a good plan.
That wasn't sandpaper. That was Vagisil.
That was a little KY. And Harris.
Rubbed a little on there,
KY ball by Harris.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, what I've been seeing, and it's baseball pitching 101. this starting staff has been down in the zone all series. They really have.
Yeah.
They've been down in the zone, man, and they have been trying to pick corners and trying to feel out the umps, and it's working, man. Because it seems like the Astros the last couple of days, they don't know what the hell to do. They're swinging on first pitches, popping things up. It's amazing to see. It really is.
And I think Severino, he's the right guy for this. I think he can go and do it. I think he can outduel Verlander. And like I said, we can get to Verlander. There's no way that guy should have pitched a complete game with 13 strikeouts and no runs. There's just no way. He was pretty fat early, and we let him get away with it. And he got in a groove, and then it was good night. But we can get this guy. They're going to be hopping down there. I mean, it's been a home team series, so Houston can't be too worried. I mean, I know it didn't go well here, but you're never in trouble till you lose a game at home.
Very interesting. I mean, Verlander has faced the Yankees many times in his career, I'm sure. What is his career kind of record or whatever? Does he own the Yankees? I mean, you would know better than me. I mean,
I don't know. I'd have to look at the numbers. I don't feel like that's the case. I mean, old Verlander would give anybody trouble. In the last few years, I'm not sure. But and I think a lot of the guys in the lineup now may not have much history against him.
Right.
We can get him.
I saw a stat the other day about going back to his last playoff run, and just look. I don't even remember the stat, but his numbers are ridiculous in the postseason. Now,
yeah,
I think he is due for a stinker, though. I really do. I think he's due for a stinker.
Well, listen, the way we're hitting.
The idea what his numbers are. That's why I kind of asked you. I don't know.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you know what? Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter now. He seemed to kind of dominate, and like you said, Mike, you guys, you seem to put some good swings on the bat, on the pitches against him. So I mean, you got to go out there and win the damn baseball game. I mean, you say, momentum maybe not better right now. I feel like it does, though. I feel like this team is so energized right now. And I know this day off kind of sucks, but this team is like excited right now. They're jumping all over the place. They're hitting the damn baseball so damn hard. It's unbelievable.
I agree with you. And momentum isn't
shit out of this team.
Momentum isn't worthless, but Severino's got to go out there and set the tone early, or else it could switch in a heartbeat.
Hey, one more thing I just wanted to add about Sabathia, and we haven't mentioned this year, and I'm forgetting when this happened, but I wanted to ask you guys. When was CC Sabathia, was it last year that he was off the roster for the playoffs because he went and checked into rehab? Was that 2 years ago? I'm forgetting.
That's a couple years ago, dude.
Yeah, we didn't make the playoffs last year.
No, it was the year Keuchel met him in the playoff game, right?
Right.
So that was
2015, yeah.
2015. So a couple.
So it was 2 years.
Right.
So I just no one has really brought it up, but this guy coming back from, I know it was probably talked about last year, but coming back from that and just really cleaning up apparently cleaning up his act and really contributing here. You can't go without saying this is an amazing thing that this guy has done here this year. And just like you said, it's his locker room. Everyone loves him. Yeah, he left in a playoff series to help himself, and everybody in this clubhouse, in this organization, respected his decision and was with him 100%. And clearly, that shows now that this is his locker room, and that they all care about him like more than themselves. It appears.
Yeah, and he's done more than contribute. I mean, what he's done on this little run here in the biggest games. He's just, you can't say enough about him. You really can't. I mean, he's one of the biggest. He's one of the biggest reasons we're here.
No, I thought he was done after that whole rehab stint. Right, I really did. Thought he was done. I thought he was, he had checked out, and that was it. But he's hung around. He's the old vet now, and he doesn't throw 96, 97 anymore, but he doesn't need to. He knows how to pitch, kind of like how Bartolo Colon had to adapt to his age. Same thing. And he's doing a great job, and he's looking dominant in a different way now.
It's awesome.
It was,
great to watch.
It is. And you know what? If I'm going to put a prediction on it, I think the Yankees will win this next game. Win 4 in a row, and they're going to head to Los Angeles, the Dodgers, and that for some that series would be fun as hell, man. Holy cow, that would be a watch. You can't miss that one. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. You got the day off tomorrow, Mike, and then you're off to Houston. You got to beat them there, and which you haven't done in the postseason yet. But this team's looking good, man. It's looking good. So, I mean, we'll see. We will see. But Rye, how about? I'm starting to laugh about this, but how about the New York Giants?
Well,
what was that?
Hey, one in the books.
Yeah, that's why you play the game, right? I mean, any team could win on any given Sunday. When you still I appreciate what Chris Collinsworth said during the broadcast about being when you have an Eli Manning behind center, you have a chance to win. And even though he didn't play great, he didn't have to. They changed their offense. They clearly were going to run the ball. Collinsworth actually predicted it before the game. They're going to run all day, try to wind down the clock, and then our defense just played unbelievable. So Darkwa played great, defense played great, and when he needed to make a big pass, so we won. I mean, I don't know, but we won the game. This team only scored 10 points. In reality, they almost only scored 3.
Yeah. I was, being 0-5, it's just a weird feeling because we said it last week and we both agreed that this team is done. This team is done. You can't come back from an 0-5 start. So it's a weird feeling when you're 0-5 and you turn on the game for week 6. I kind of was relaxed, I guess. I want to put it. It was relaxed. I actually laid on my couch with the pillow behind my head. I mean, granted, I drove 7.5 hours from Florida, but still, I just wanted to relax, watch the game, and if they lost, they lost. I wouldn't be shocked at all. But this team, they found a way to win. And Rye, like you said, it was with defense, big time. And they did it with a few guys on defense. Vernon, Okwara, a couple of pass rushers. JPP had a freaking awesome game, by the way. He just abused that right tackle.
Yeah, he did.
Can't even remember the guy's name because he's so bad. He played great, JPP.
He played phenomenal. We also didn't have DRC because of the suspension.
Yeah.
And apparently all the defensive players were upset and like, oh, we need this guy. And I would have felt the same way. But we didn't miss him. Eli Apple played the game of his life. Everyone contributed. It was great.
Yeah, and DRC. He came to practice this week and apologized. I have no idea what the hell thing was about. I mean, it was. He came, apologized, and said he admitted he was wrong for whatever he was doing, but whatever. It's just amazing. Like when everything was just crumbling behind this team, all those injuries after being 0-4, all those injuries in that game last week, and then the whole DRC thing. I'm like, I mean, you just can't get any worse. You can't get any worse than that. And then they come out and put up a great game like that. It's just, it's uncommon. And that's why we've been saying in our group text, guys, how crazy and weird the NFL season has been this year. And to go out there and beat the top defense in the league and put 23 points up. I mean, granted, 7 of them were from your defense. It's just, it's great. And I'll tell you one thing, Ryan. Eli Manning did not have to do much in this game. He was more of like a game manager, I would say. He managed the game very well. He handed the ball off plenty of times because we were able to run the ball. We controlled clock. First game where we led in time of possession. Yay! Because we were able to run the ball.
Right.
And that's what you go in there and you have to game plan that way because you have no wide receivers. I mean, Roger Lewis, you're number one, but how many times did he catch a ball? Once. Evan Ingram looked good, by the way.
Yeah.
But like, that's all he needed to do, Eli. He just needed to manage the game, hand the ball off because our running backs were running really well. The line was opening up some holes. That's it. And that's it. And our defense, like you said, our defense played unbelievable.
The last
APP.
time we watched a game where our offensive line blew up some of the defensive players like Fluker did. And
oh my God. Remember that one block on that
yeah.
I think Collinsworth is the one who pointed it out too.
I mean, the block was like we haven't seen that in years of play like that. And we got huge yardage, good chunk of yardage there. This is the number one rush defense in the league this year, and we really
4.6 yards per rush. Yep. You know who was unbelievable in a position he was playing out of position? Justin Pugh at right tackle. Dude, what his assignment was? He was trying to stop Von Miller. And he did a great job. I think Von Miller had a sack, but it was one where he kind of snuck inside and got the sack. But, dude, he was awesome.
He was phenomenal.
So I think that the rest of the season is right tackle.
Well, I agree. And the stuff, like you said, you came into the game relaxed because we're 0-5. We can't make the playoffs. I came in the game the same way. But I come out of the game happy that we won, but upset and mad in the same process. And the reason for that is, why did it take so long for changes to be made? Why did it take
handing the play calling off to Mike Sullivan?
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm going here. Handing the play calls to Mike Sullivan, changing around the offensive line. Running the ball with Darkwa. I know this happened the week before, but running the ball with Darkwa instead of, it's only because Perkins is hurt, I feel, that we started going with Darkwa. When we've been saying for weeks that he is the best running back we have. Maybe Gallman or Galman,
one or the other, split personality.
Right. Maybe he could be too, but this is a nice 1-2 punch that we got going. They're different type of backs. They run differently, and this is good. I just don't understand why it took so long. Why was the onus put on after 0-5? It should have been put on after maybe 0-2 or 0-3.
It's like you've been saying, dude, like during the game where there's no sense of urgency. There was no sense of urgency in changing the team, kind of the philosophy going forward. A couple weeks in, and you got to change things, man. And the play calling. So he did change it, but it's 5-6 games too late.
I know.
Because if you watched Mike Sullivan call the game, it was a lot simpler. I don't know. I really don't know how it excites. Did you watch the game at all?
Talking about, I did not watch any of the game.
Okay.
All right. Well, go ahead, Rye.
I know what you're saying. It's definitely simpler. I know that our game plan for this game was simpler anyway because of all the injuries to the receivers.
Yeah. Right.
But I don't know. So on Twitter, I know every ex-Giant that I follow on Twitter or any type of person related to the Giants was just singing Mike Sullivan's praises. Like, this is why. And maybe there's more to it. Like, do they know? I mean, clearly we haven't been happy with Gilbride, but it's not. I'm not Gilbride. Oh my God. with
Gilgroom, yeah.
with McAdoo. Clearly, we haven't been happy with him, but apparently no one is that knows football. Everyone that knows football better than me. Like, it's not just us. I notice it's real.
Yeah.
It's real football people that agree and think the same way that we do. And finally, they make a move, and it just pisses me off that we waited so long. I can't get over this now.
I can't get over this, and for me, I think it makes McAdoo look dumber. It really does.
Yeah, well, it does, and the reason, and I feel like the reason why it happened now is because McAdoo was trying to save his job. He knows it's on the line.
Dude.
When people make changes.
Dude, let me tell you something, too. I want to tell you something. So I watched his post game, too.
Oh.
Did you watch his post game at all?
No, because I can't stand, but I have something to say about the pregame. And
all right.
You go first with the post, and then I'll go pre.
So we'll go back. Post, then pre. Backwards. So his post game, Mike, you'll like this, too. You'll like this because, his slick back Pat Riley hair, right?
Oh.
In the post. So the guy, one guy asks him, "So, coach, you can smile now." And dude, McAdoo was such a dick. Just stared at him. Stared at the guy. And then a couple of guys are asking him questions. He's super direct. He's not like fun loving and just like kind of like that sigh, like, whew, we won a game. He was a dick in the whole post game. Holy shit. He pissed me off in the post game.
Yeah, and after a game where you shouldn't be pissed off.
No, you have to kind of like joke about it a little bit and be like, yeah, just like kind of laugh it off. Smile, you won.
Right, keep the team loose. Maybe change your approach. But clearly, I don't know. This guy, maybe if they lose next week, he'll start changing things the week after because he's going to fear for his job again. It's unbelievable. I don't know. I'm not a fan of McAdoo, obviously. Before the game, Ryan, the pregame.
Go ahead. Yeah, I want to hear this.
Well, why did you give up the play calling to Mike Sullivan? What made you make that decision? Well, I thought that this was the time that both sides of the football needed me most. The offense and the defense needed me now. You're the head coach.
Yeah.
They've always needed you. You need to be there forever. This is why you gave the play calling to Mike Sullivan. It's not because you sucked at the play calling.
Yeah,
it's not because you're 0-5 and you wanted to make a change. It's because the offense and the defense needed you. That doesn't make any sense to me. You're the head coach. Everybody on the team needs you. The freaking place kicker needs you. Zach Diassi needs you. They all need you.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard the same thing, Rye. Yep. He said, the entire team needed him. So he was giving the play calling to Mike Sullivan. And I thought that was just absolutely a cop-out. I mean, it was just absolute ridiculous bullshit. And, dude, it was funny, like, that post game where the guy asked him, the guy was kind of trying to be light with him and like, "Coach, you can smile now." And he stared him down. He stared him down like I stare the damn kids down at the school when they're being idiots. I'm serious. That's what I do. I stare at the kids. I give them a stare, like a death stare.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, you're supposed to be kind of like, okay, like breathe easy now. We won a game and you can relax and joke with the media. No, he's got to be a dick to the media.
Well, because clearly he's worried about his job security. And
oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Well, I mean, it's evident. It's evident. It's the only reason why he made these changes. And then after you get a win, guys trying to joke around with you. You're not Bill Belichick. You're not freaking Pat Riley. You haven't earned being.
I love Pat Riley right now.
It's just like, I don't even want to talk about McAdoo. I'm just happy we won a damn game. I just wish.
I know.
Sooner. You know what?
We're getting off on a McAdoo tangent.
Well, yeah. One thing. We have Seattle this week coming up, and we should execute the same game plan. We could run on Seattle. You win the game. You go to 2-5. Maybe somehow we are the first 0-5 team to make it to the playoffs, and that would be unbelievable. I'd be so freaking happy because I'm going to be out there this week rooting my ass off like I do every other week.
Oh, of course. You can't not. And it's kind of like, not that we're playing the same team, but there's certain aspects to each team, Denver and Seattle, that are very similar. And like you said, you can run on Seattle a little bit. We didn't think we can run on Denver, but we did. So if we can run on a team like Seattle, then let's freaking go. Definitely a tough team to pass on. They got a good secondary, and they got some good pass rushers out there too. And then on the offensive side of the ball, their offensive line sucks. Another offensive line that is just brutal. So hopefully Vernon can be back for this game, and we can get our two studs off the edge going after Russell Wilson. Now, Russell Wilson is 10 times better than Trevor Siemian. I will say that. He will make plays happen. Even though his first 2 games of the season, he looked freaking horrible. He just blew up after that. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do against this defense. We're bringing it home. Can you win a freaking game at home now? You won one on the roads. Get this crowd going and win one at home.
Let's do it.
Mike, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I hate the Seahawks. Fucking beat them.
And I'll be watching it with you, brother.
Yes, you will be. And we'll be watching intently. And the Seattle offensive line is horrible.
I think it's worse than ours now.
They can't run the ball. I think this is a game where you see the Giant run defense really stick their foot in the ground. And, they did it last week. They're going to do it again at home. And this could be like a statement game. I mean, it's weird saying that for a 1-5 team. But I think they'll
make me laugh, but it's true.
I think they'll play well.
I agree.
I hope you're right, brother. I hope you're right. And I don't know. I saw this like poll. They did a bunch of NFL polls on I don't know. I can't even remember some. The one that stood out to me was most overrated quarterback, and it was NFL players that were voting on this. It wasn't anybody else. It wasn't fans. It wasn't like coaches or whatever. It was NFL players. And the most overrated quarterback in the NFL, according to the players, was guess who, Rye?
Was it Eli?
It was Eli Manning at 14%.
Yeah, I saw that too.
You saw that, Mike? Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest trash.
I mean, I don't buy it, but whatever.
Here's what I have a problem with the whole overrated, underrated argument in all sports. Who's rating the guys? Yeah. If someone's going to be overrated or underrated, someone has to be given a rating, and then
which they're not,
and then react accordingly. I think Eli Manning is rated just fine. We all know what Eli Manning is these days. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's the name.
He's getting, yeah, of course. And listen, he's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. I think that gets you a pretty high rating. And he's getting old and he has his bad weeks, but he still pulls shit out of his ass like the old Eli Manning sometimes. And
yeah, he does.
Overrated. Why?
And remember, guy is as durable as it comes at the quarterback position.
Yeah, no broken collarbones. No broken collarbones or anything.
Oh, all right, Mike. I guess. Take us away on that one.
Was that the segue?
Yeah, please.
Did I do
that? Segue into the Packers, brother.
Did I do that? Yeah, the quarterback for the Packers, a guy named Aaron Rodgers, broke his collarbone. He's out for the year. So that changes things a bit. The plans change a bit. All right. So the panic's over. The reality is set in. Brett Hundley is the quarterback, and Brett Hundley has been in the school now. He's been in the McCarthy, Rodgers, Packers quarterback school for 2, and we'll give him a half year. 2.5 years, so it's time to graduate early and go to work and see what he's got. So we saw some good things when he came in. Pretty much played the whole game. Rodgers got hurt in the first series. Saw some good and some bad. We saw some potential. We saw some real rookie stuff, but I think there's enough talent and there's enough moxie and there's enough brains for this kid to be a pretty successful quarterback. We saw a beautiful back shoulder throw to Jordy down the sideline that you would have thought 12 threw it. We saw him move. We saw him create with his feet on the Adams touchdown and the almost Ty Montgomery touchdown. And And then you saw 3 interceptions. You saw the first one, maybe I'll throw out. It was his first throw, but it was a badly underthrown ball on an out with man coverage. It's a no-no. We saw one where Harrison Smith made a freakish play on the ball. But Hundley, he's got to work on his eye discipline, stared it down, and a safety like Harrison Smith is going to eat you for breakfast. But I don't think we don't have to be in panic mode here. Now, listen, expectations change now. It's obvious. We went from a legitimate Super Bowl contender to just another team in the mix. But I think the biggest thing for Hundley and the biggest thing for this team is getting everyone else healthy. I mean, they just keep piling up. I mean, Rodgers is just one guy. I mean, he's the guy, but he's just one guy. Bakhtiari finally comes back to play left tackle with the hamstring. He leaves with the same hamstring. Balaga, our right tackle, finally comes back from his ailment. I can't remember what it was. And he gets a concussion. Lane Taylor goes down with an injury, with an ankle, and he didn't practice today, so he's a question mark. We finished the fucking game with 5 healthy offensive linemen. In 6 weeks, we've started 6 different combinations at offensive line. That's a big problem. So for a rookie quarterback, well, not a rookie, but for a first-time starting quarterback, this is not the time for that shit. So somehow, with drugs, I don't care if you got to use steroids and be illegal, you got to get the offensive line healthy, like now. We have to run the ball. I mean, we saw a great running effort in Dallas, but Dallas kind of sucks. Minnesota, you can't run on, and we couldn't run on them. We have to find a way to Brett Hundley can't shoulder the whole load. He's not Aaron Rodgers. But the good news is we don't have to change the playbook. This kid knows the offense. He knows the playbook. McCarthy. One thing he's really, really good at is game planning and self-scouting. And he knows how to not so much game planning to beat a certain opponent, but game planning for getting the most out of his players that he has. And right now, with all the injuries, it's always a shuffle. So I think McCarthy can get the most out of Brett Hundley. So,
hey, Mike. Now,
yes.
Mike, I'm glad you. Let me just interject. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm glad you kind of brought up McCarthy and coaching this guy up a little bit, because I think some people are kind of looking, especially Packer fans, are kind of looking at the game he had to come into, not knowing he was going to be in the game, and you're going against one of the best defenses in the league, easily. That's one of the best defenses in the league. And yes, you throw 3 picks, but you got a couple of good throws, like you said. But maybe, with a week of, working with the first team and getting coached up by these coaches, I think things are going to be a little different.
No, it's got to help. And you're playing the Saints at home.
Right.
Now, Mike Spofford is one of my favorites on Packers.com. He said it best, bringing in Brett Hundley in that game, it's kind of like getting a flat tire. You could put a spare on, but you're not going to get very far. You got to fix the tire, okay? So this week we fix the tire.
Good analogy.
And we see what we get on Sunday. But I'm, I like the kids. I like him between the ears. I think he gets it. Someone asked, I don't even know I don't know the context of this answer, but I'm sure the question was something like, how do you feel about filling Aaron Rodgers' shoes? Something to that effect. And he said, Aaron is Aaron, and I'm not Aaron. I'm Brett Hundley. Just like that.
I'm Brett.
That was going
to. It's a simple answer, but I think it said a lot. And read between the lines a little bit. I think this kid is confident in his abilities, and I think he can be a good quarterback, and we're going to find out.
Well, Mike, do you? All right, here you go.
Go.
Obviously, this guy. They're not going to go after somebody else. Correct. No. You're confident in that? They're sticking with Hundley. Okay.
No chance. I'm pulling another injury.
Right. So like you said, barring another injury, if Hundley stays healthy the rest of the season, can this Packers team make the playoffs?
Yes, I think so.
Okay,
man,
how do they do that? How do
well,
they do that?
well, I mean, here's the basic answer, and maybe we'll get into it. I think they have to go 6-4. So can Brett Hundley win 6 out of 10? Because that gets you to 10-6, and I'd feel pretty good about that. So here's your schedule: Saints at home. You guys tell me if these games are winnable. I know Brett Hundley's a big unknown.
At home,
Yes.
Saints at home, win. Okay. Bye week.
win.
Lions
Win.
at home. Bears on
Lions
the
at
road.
home is win.
Ravens at home.
Win.
Yes, win.
At Pittsburgh.
Loss.
Tough. That's a loss. I'm
Home-
not saying it's a loss.
home-
I'm just saying loss.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Home Buccaneers.
Win.
Maybe a loss, but I go win.
We'll go win.
Bucks
/
suck.
loss.
Win.
At Browns.
Win.
Oh, that's a win.
At Panthers.
Loss.
Loss. I'll go loss.
Home Vikings.
Win.
Wow. That's a toss-up, but I can see that they can win. It's winnable game.
Well, I'll do win-loss. Okay, and then Week 17 at Lions.
That'll be a tough one.
Loss.
But I'm gonna go loss.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Worst case, with those 2 iffy ones, we're saying 5-5, which makes us
That's
the
worst
9-17. Best case would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7.
7, and 3.
That would be 11-5.
We would be an 11-5 team. I think we go to the playoffs. You split those 2 iffy ones, and there you go. There's your 10-6. So,
yeah,
yes, they can. But again, this is all on. It's not all on Brett Hundley, but it's all on Brett Hundley. So, and it's all on everybody else rallying together, which I expect them to fully. McCarthy will not lose this team. He will not lose this. He will not let this alone ruin the season. Now, we may not make the playoffs. It wouldn't shock anybody. But Mike McCarthy will not let anyone think that it's just because Aaron Rodgers got hurt, or he won't let it sink into players' heads that just because Aaron Rodgers is hurt, we're not going to the playoffs. Mike McCarthy talked about how the defense couldn't tackle this week than about Aaron Rodgers breaking his collarbone. So, it's the coach to do it. It's the supporting cast to do it. There's enough veteran leadership to rally around this kid, and if he can do a decent job, I think we can make the playoffs.
And I hope you do, man. And that would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing.
That would be a hell of a job.
It really would. It would be a freaking hell of a job, man, because you can't replace an Aaron Rodgers. You can't.
No.
Can't replace him. No. I truly believe he's the best quarterback in the league. Now, that hit, was that a dirty hit?
No.
No. Was it dirty? No. Was it a little unnecessary? Probably.
I don't think it was dirty either.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think it's very unnecessary.
Listen,
it was very unnecessary.
And
didn't
remember
need
that
to be done.
You brought up that most overrated kind of poll they did. Remember, there was another question: what quarterback do you want to sack the most?
Yeah,
and Rodgers was third. Rodgers was third.
Yeah,
because he's so damn good. He'll let you know when he's kicking your ass. And he's tough to bring down. He's so elusive, and when someone gets his arm, they get their arms around him, they're going to bring him down to the ground. So do I blame Anthony Barr for making it count? No, it's football. Could he have pulled up? Yeah, the ball was gone. But is it going to unbreak his collarbone if they throw a flag? No. Or if they fine him? No. So it doesn't matter. If you're looking for poetic justice, Anthony Barr suffered a concussion later in the game. So if that makes you feel better, then go for it. But it is what it is. I didn't have too much of a problem with that.
Yeah, it was a little late. He kind of pushed him and drove him to the ground. But like, I don't think it was intent to injure.
No.
He's just playing football, and when you're in that mode, you just want to go all out.
Yeah, you want to make it count, man. I mean, you get one of the good quarterbacks going down to the ground. You make it count. I would want Clay Matthews to drive Tom Brady into the ground, or Matt Ryan to the ground. You make it count. You're not trying to end the guy's season, but you want to let him know that I just sacked you. You got to feel it.
Right. Well, I mean, if this is a good first game for this kid to start at home against New Orleans, because that's a team that is infamous for a just Swiss cheese defense. So let's see what he can do. Let's see what the kid can do, and I'll be right by your side watching it, my man.
Yeah, we'll be in my living room.
I know. I pulled this up, guys. Rye, you'll like this since you didn't see this. I pulled it. I found it. All these like polls about players. Ready? Rye, I'm gonna see if you can get this. But
all right.
The first one says, which QB talks the most trash? Go ahead. Who do you think's number one?
Now this is asking players. Well, obviously,
this is asking players.
Brady.
Brady was 4. It was Cam Newton.
Okay.
It went Cam Newton, Phillip Rivers, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady.
Okay.
Mike brought it up. Which QB do you want to sack the most?
Well, number one, I would say, is Brady again.
Yep, it's Brady, Roethlisberger, Rodgers.
Okay.
The next one said, who is the one QB you would not want as a teammate? I like this one.
Oh, you'll love this one, right?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Is that a Cam Newton one?
He was second. It was actually Jay Cutler was number one.
Oh, of course.
Smoking
by a landslide too. He was 42%.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
Well, of course. I said Newton because he's the one that trash talks the most. I figured, the guys would answer the same way. But I just forgot Jay Cutler was in the league because he shouldn't be.
Nuns, what was the quote? Some guy had a quote about Cutler. It's like he doesn't. Sometimes it feels like he doesn't even want to be out there. He doesn't want to play.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. I'm not even sure he wants to play. That's what it said.
True.
Yeah, it was Cutler at 42%. It was Cutler at 42%, and then it was Cam Newton and Phillip Rivers were each 6%.
42. Almost half the league said they don't want to be teammates with Jay Cutler.
Oh,
right.
Man.
So this one's interesting, Ryan. I mean, you already know it, but who was the most overrated quarterback? It was Eli. The other ones were Andrew Luck, Joe Flacco, Jay Cutler, and Sam Bradford were behind Eli.
Okay. Well, who thinks Jay Cutler's good? He can't be overrated.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, that was
and
my
Flacco
point
sucks too.
Oh, Flacco. Oh, he's
Flacco.
He's been awful.
Sucks.
Here's an interesting one, Mike. I'm sure you've seen them all. This one was freaking interesting. Ready, Rye? Which QB will win the most Super Bowls in the next 10 years?
When was this poll taken?
Pretty recently.
I think recently, yeah.
So I'm gonna the way Watson has been, I would say him, but I'm gonna move that one aside because I don't think he was hitting. Maybe they didn't do this poll right then, so I'm gonna say Carson Wentz.
No, it was Tom Brady.
Oh shit.
Yeah, okay. In the next 10 years, he's 40.
Well, the guy eats like lima beans for dessert.
He does. Well, it went Tom Brady, Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott. Screw that.
So no Carson Wentz, really?
Nope, no Wentz. And here's the last one.
Okay, go.
Which rookie QB will have the most success in the NFL?
Watson.
Yes, Watson, like 61%. It was Watson, Trubisky.
Who's third? Mahomes?
Kaiser, Mahomes, and Chad Kelly from the Broncos. I don't even know who that is.
Okay. All
I'll
right.
miss.
So,
Yo,
I mean, I thought these were kind of interesting lists.
they are interesting. The 42% on Cutler is ridiculous.
It's almost half the players.
Now, listen, Jay. Don't you? I think that you would have wished this poll was taken before you came back to the league, because if he had to have read this,
Oh, I'm
correct?
sure.
Like he had to have.
On ESPN.
Someone had to show him. Now, I think that could make a man turn flaccid. Like that 42%. 42%?
Yeah,
Just
nobody likes him, dude. Come on.
Straight down.
He's just a
That's the funniest thing I've heard all day.
Hey, while we're on the topic of Cutler and the Dolphins, I would like to take a moment to apologize, come clean, whatever you want to call it, for actually thinking the Dolphins could be a playoff team this year. You guys laughed at me and I told you to shut up, but that was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever said in my
You know what, Mike?
on my time on Earth.
No, you know what? It wasn't, because if Matt Moore was the quarterback, I think they could.
Well, I knew Jay Cutler was the quarterback.
All right, yeah, you suck.
That was part of my reasoning. Like a Jay Cutler renaissance, a resurgence, what have you. Whatever
Mike.
long R word you want.
That's funny that you say it now after they just beat Atlanta in Atlanta.
Well, yeah, but Atlanta sucks.
They're really not that good.
They're not that good, and they're like never healthy, but they're not that good.
But this is the thing, though, boys. Every team sucks. Every team.
And that's why, Mike.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say.
No,
Mike, go.
Okay, I'll go real quick. It's like we need
Mike,
a stop,
go.
like a red light and a green light. It's like four blondes at a four-way stop. All right. So, the Falcons losing that Super Bowl, they are never going to recover. They are never going to recover. At least these Matt Ryan led Falcons. It's going to be one of those games. They're cursed. They're cursed now until Ryan retires.
I don't know if Arthur Blank has taken a shit since that Super Bowl, because his ass is so puckered up,
Arthur Blank looks like he's made out of leather.
Oh my God, he's on strings as a puppeteer.
He looks like someone stole a wax figure out of Madame Tussauds.
Well, yeah, I was thinking about I was thinking about getting tickets for Jeff Dunham. I didn't realize I'd see Arthur Blank.
Guy reminds me of Burt Baccarat. You've only just begun to live.
Arthur Blank, everybody.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh Christ.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Mike. Now that we say this about like everybody, there's no good teams out there. It just makes this whole Aaron Rodgers injury. I mean, who is the NFL? I mean, who is the NFC? Like, who is it? Who's the best team in the NFC? The Eagles?
It's the Eagles.
Oh, God. They're not that good. Give me a break.
Wait. I have something to say about them. I wanted to say it when you're doing that poll when I guessed Wentz as the quarterback to win for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I had no hatred towards the Eagles.
You hate the Eagles? I'm just kidding. I know that.
I would love to use them as toilet paper, okay? Now,
I do.
I've watched Wentz play a lot now. He is very damn good. Like, he moves around like, I hate to say it, Mike, like Rodgers out there.
He's got a little Rodgers in his game.
He's
kind of like, he's a little Rodgers. He's a little Roethlisberger. He's a little Newton just because of his size.
A little pansy.
I know we don't wish success for anything Philadelphia.
Well, that team has a bad coach. They have a bad coach. They have a bad secondary, and this guy is still getting them winning games. And I can't say it's the coach because all I've seen is bad clock management, bad, bad down at the end of the game. So clock management, but also like not running the ball when he should.
Yeah.
Making what was the one the other day? There was a big play the other day that I couldn't believe. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Like, I love that he did this because it's only going to hurt his team. And it didn't matter because the Eagles were freaking good. But
In the Carolina game, you mean?
yeah, in the Carolina game, there was a play that there was something that he did. I can't remember. But anyway, this guy Peterson, he's made mistake after mistake, and somehow they're getting bailed out of these games. And I have to give it to Wentz. It's Wentz that's doing it.
Yeah, I hate to say it too. He is good. I'm just playing because I don't like this team, but he's good. He's very good, and they have their quarterback for the next 10+ years. I'm certain. He's good, man. Sucks, but Mike, you're probably right. They're probably the best right now.
Oh,
I mean, record-wise, they are.
Yeah, and just going around the conference. I mean, Seahawks.
Oh, I went around the conference and I couldn't do it. I'm like, there's no good teams.
Yeah, you got Seahawks, Rams. Vikings.
They're okay. I keep saying okay. Okay, they're okay. A little good.
Panthers, Buccaneers. It's not the Falcons.
Okay. I think the Bucs suck, by the way. That's just me. They suck.
Well, we'll see about Winston too.
They just lost to Arizona. Come on.
It is wide open. The NFC is wide open.
It really is. It's a crazy freaking year.
And you know what? That's like more salt in the wound for you guys. Like if the Giants could just be like, Christ, 2-4,
3-3 right now.
Even 2-4, you'd be like, all right, well, no one else is that good.
You're right. 2-4, I would have a pulse.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, and it's funny, guys. It's funny, guys, because I was driving home the whole way on Sunday and just figuring out ways to watch the games, and I did. I pulled Sunday Ticket on my phone on the app, and did a bad thing and was driving and watching the games a little bit. More listening. I'll say I was listening more, but I was able to actually watch some football games.
Well,
Yeah.
And it was another just crazy week of football. It really was.
Yeah,
I mean, that New Orleans Detroit game was insane. Like the points put up and just the lack of statistics were amazing to me.
Michael Thomas.
Right?
Listen, my wife had Matthew Stafford in our friends FanDuel league, all right? And she freaking lost it.
She posted something.
Yeah, she got in the chat in our league just to vent about him.
She was ripping Matthew Stafford to the point where Joe and I were like just egging her on with like Stafford. Oh, they just got the ball back. Like he threw another pick, and then one of the times we were joking, he really did throw another pick. Like it was unbelievable. Oh, like so bad. I think he had -7 points from the turnovers.
And both of the quarterbacks, they threw pick sixes in their like end zones. It was 52 points the Saints put up. And Mike, you know this because you had Michael Thomas. Did he do anything that game?
I think he had like
three catches for 20 yards.
Oh, he had like 2.6 points, something, fucking asshole.
And they scored 52 points.
Like I see the score and I'm like, ooh, let me check Michael Thomas's beast day. Oh, nothing. All right, fuck me.
Makes it so much worse.
Ugh.
Oh, and by the way, guys, the Jets got hosed.
Yeah, it's terrible.
How ridiculous is
they
that?
got
The Jets should have probably won that game and be freaking 4-2.
They got hosed.
That's fair. You know what? And that guy that's the Seraphim Jenkins, whatever, Cellophane Jenkins, I don't know, whatever.
Cellophane?
Yep, well, that's his name now.
Cellophane Jenkins catches the ball. It comes loose and he holds it. I don't know. That's a catch. Or a touchdown.
It was touchdown on the field. How do you reverse that?
Right. That's the sickening part.
You know why? And I'm going to throw this out there.
Go ahead.
I'm going there.
Go.
Say the Jets are playing I don't know.
Cleveland.
The Cleveland Browns. Does that play really get overturned?
No.
Is it because it's the
That's
Patriots?
a touchdown.
It's always the Patriots?
Probably.
All right,
It's
well,
always New England. Always New England.
I would agree with you, Mike.
They get the luck.
I would agree. But if
So then
Roger
agree.
Goodell didn't hate the Patriots and Tom Brady and this whole thing, because of all of that history, I don't think that's the case. I think this is an isolated incident where this idiot just called it. You reversed the play, which he shouldn't have. I don't think it has anything to do with the Patriots, unfortunately. But I understand thinking that.
I just hate replay. I hate replay. Replay gets used replay is getting used for all the wrong reasons. It's like we saw the play
and that's the problem.
In the Yankee game. I forget what game it was.
The hit by pitch.
No, the play with Didi at first base.
Oh.
They called him safe on the field. Okay? The Astros challenged because the ump called safe because Marlon Gonzalez or Gurriel, the first baseman, his foot was off the bag. He waved wide, safe. But the throw beat him, but he said his foot was off the bag. The Hinch challenges. They look at it, and you look at the view from right field down home plate, and you can see dirt between his spikes and the bag. And they call him out. They reverse it. Like I don't know how I don't know why replay just sucks. They're still not getting them right.
You know, I saw that play and I saw the same picture of you. You see dirt in between his cleat and the bag. Now, I think I mentioned this when we did the U.S. Open, when I talked about the U.S. Open, about how that was the best reviewed system. Like when there's a challenge, that was the best. It was, a player puts their hand up, it's reviewed, it's like very quick, and you know if he got the point or he didn't. Now this year it was a little slower. But it needs to be more like that. It needs to be quicker. Sometimes these guys are looking under the, at this computer screen or this TV screen or under the hood or whatever the hell they're looking at. And they're looking at it for like more than 2 minutes when we look at it for 5 seconds and we know the outcome.
I know. The one problem with that, though, tennis, it's in or out, and that's it.
That's true.
Is the green ball on the line or not?
All right. So keep the challenge in that sport. But because of you don't have to have challenges on all these other things in all these other sports.
Right. I wish replay would be non-existent. Listen, umps, officials, referees, they're human. They're gonna fuck up. They still are. It's not helping. So just get rid of it. They're worried about pace of play in all these sports. Well, this is your biggest culprit. Chase Headley, they wanted to challenge if the ball brushed his pant leg. It took like 15 minutes.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Dude, it took so long. It was ridiculous. It's ridiculous. No more replay.
Yeah, I know. I hear you, dude. And we've talked about the refs. It's been really rough, and a lot of it is pissing me off when they make a call or they don't make a call, and they get into a damn conference. It's happening way too much.
Yeah.
But Mike, like you said, they probably don't even know what the hell to call.
I know. Yeah, I don't feel bad for refs, but I'm starting to understand what they're going through. I mean, specifically with football, each guy on the crew had the shit they had to look for, and they called it. Now it's like, oh, well, there's 16 billion more rules, and everything's nuanced, and this year, make sure you emphasize this, and call this way now, and it's it's almost like a rookie who can't really acclimate to the NFL because he's thinking too much. He can't just react and play. And then once he's in for a few years and he gets up to the speed of the game, he's reacting and he turns into a good player. These refs aren't reacting. They're thinking too much. It's fucking everything up. It's hard. It's got to be hard for them.
You're right. I totally agree. I love what you just said right there, Mikey.
Oh, thank you.
I know. But as fans, we get so frustrated, and we have to take it out on the refs because they're the ones making the calls or not making the calls.
Certain refs, Jeff Triplett, just
worst crew ever, maybe.
Oh, God. Oh, he's the fucking worst.
What's the worst crew? What's the worst crew? A Triplett crew or an Angel Hernandez crew?
Well, Angel Hernandez, period. I mean,
Well, that's why his crew is probably dynamite, but he sucked.
Is he even the crew chief?
I don't know. I think, you know what? I think he is.
He's been around a while. How can he not be? Joe West is pretty bad too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad umps out there.
I know.
But Triplet's crew is rough.
They're terrible.
Whatever. Whatever. I mean, there were, like I said, guys, there were some crazy, wacky games. I mean, and to be honest with you, let's go to our picks. I went 0-3. Holy shit.
So I mean, a rough week for everybody, I think.
Holy cow. Never would have thought Rodgers would have got injured. So, I mean, that ruined that game.
Yeah, that's not your fault. That's not your fault.
No, that's not. I mean, we all picked them too, other than Dave. But New England, I thought they were going to have a monster game. You know, they go down 14-0, and they did end up coming back and win, but didn't cover. So, poopy to that one. And then my Super Bowl pick, I wanted to ride them. And Pittsburgh came up with the game that I've been waiting for Pittsburgh to come up with. And it's usually against KC too. And why didn't I see that? But 0-3, guys. 0-3 this week.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I finally won. I finally went 1-2 for the third straight freaking week. But 1-2, and I get the loss. I get the Green Bay and the KC loss, like you, Rye.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hit on the San Francisco 49ers. Who knew?
Yeah.
Plus 11.
Well,
plus the
you knew. You knew the Redskins were, didn't deserve to, be laying 11 points.
Suck.
Yeah, and they only won the game by 2. I mean, so I guess I wish I could have spread those extra points around to the other teams, but it doesn't work that way.
I know. It doesn't work that way. How'd you do, Mike?
Well, the one I got right was the Steelers.
Yeah, you did.
And you know what? I stand by my picks, okay? If you would have told me the Lions were going to score 38 points and they had to cover 4.5.
And they didn't.
I'd take that every single time. But no, it didn't work out very well. And the Bucs, that was like my lock of the week. And I'm just going to blame it on Winston getting hurt. May not be a good excuse, but I stand by my picks. But I only won, and I lost 2. It is what it is. 1-2.
Yeah. So, I mean, how did Dave do?
Dave, well, you got to remember his picks.
I don't even remember. I know he posted them on Twitter. I have no idea what Dave's picks were. I know he went against the grain on some of these and tried.
Well, he did go with. I think he went with Arizona, didn't he?
He did. He got the Arizona.
I think he went 2-1, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm trying to pull it up right here.
Angry Dave, 2-1.
Okay, Dave had Arizona, which he got.
Mm-hmm.
He had the Chargers at +5.5.
He got that.
But he went against the Giants and he took the Broncos laying the 11.5. I guess you can't really blame him.
I hope he picks against them every game now.
Maybe it works. So Dave went 2-1 with his underdogs. 2-1 for Dave.
Good for him. So he was the big winner this week. But guys, can we all just do well together?
No.
It'd be fun. It would be a fun week.
Impossible.
Holy cow.
So on the season, Rye, you and I are 5-10. Dave is 7-8, and Mike is 8-6-1.
All right. Got to keep that 60%.
You have to. Right, we sucked balls, but
yeah, but we did hit some FanDuel picks. We did. Every one of us hit some FanDuel picks.
Go ahead, give them out.
Me too.
Ryan, you gave a couple of stinkers and a couple of good ones. So the two stinkers, AJ Derby and Amendola, and then Deshaun Watson. I mean, oh my goodness, another 24-point performance in fantasy. And
you can't be that lower than 8,000 anymore. You can't.
No, never again. And Fuller, you had at 6,000. He ended up getting 13. So if you went to quarterback receiver combo, that gets you 37.5 points. It's pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Hall, I think, gave the biggest quarterback play of the week in Kirk Cousins.
Kirky.
getting 28.8 points.
Kirky.
Kirky.
And then Kamara in New Orleans got you 10.7. Now, that game, 52 points they scored. And what Mike said, what Hawley gave you was the right thing, but it just happened to be more of Ingram.
Mark Ingram, baby.
Yeah.
He had like over 20-something points. Kamara has 10.7. 10.7 will get you by with the price that he was at. Mm-hmm. And then I had a couple of stinkers, like really bad stinkers, and a couple of really good ones. So I said Marshawn Lynch. I said he would have a 100-yard game. He gets 63 yards on 12 carries. Now, can you tell me why Oakland only gives this guy 12 carries?
Can you tell me why they're throwing to him?
Stop. Yeah, just let him hand the ball off to the guy. Let him run.
Because the one they threw to him ended up going off his hands, and it was an interception.
Right. So just hand the ball to the guy. I mean, 12 for 63 is pretty decent. So hand him the ball. Let him run. Your team is banged up. Let your run game do some work here. And then I gave then Pierre Garçon, who was 2 weeks in a row. He only had 8 points this week, but he had 12 targets, just like I thought he would have. He just didn't pull that many down, only 5 catches. And I said Kevin Hogan for the price of the lowest quarterback you could get. Still got above 10 points, but had a really bad game. But then I hit big with Evan Ingram and Larry Fitzgerald. Ingram getting 16
Fitz had a big game. Yeah,
the only thing the Giants were going to do was throw to him and run the ball, and that's exactly what they did. And Fitzgerald had 22.8 points. I think he had 22 of them before the half.
Yeah, monster. He had a monster. All right, so we're kind of up and down.
Yeah,
that's pretty common for FanDuel, up and down kind of thing going. And you know what's funny? I almost picked for those FanDuel. I almost went with Peterson just because I like him and so on and so forth. And he had a freaking huge game too.
Monster game, 1.3% owned in the big.
Wow. And all of a sudden, my yearly fantasy team is looking pretty decent.
Oh, man. Shot up in the power rankings I saw there.
Holy shit. I scored 145. Having Deshaun Watson now has been just a godsend. And Will Fuller, all he does is score touchdowns. And,
I know.
And now these are my 4 running backs. If Peterson stays the way he's staying, I have him, Ingram, Ajayi, and Bell. I mean, let's go. And I can't play them all at the same time.
It's a good problem to have.
That's pretty solid. I lost again because Winston got hurt. All I needed was 10 freaking points, and the guy gets hurt.
Brutal. I lost again because I suck. If I played,
simply put.
You guys noticed I picked up Jordan Reed in our league. He was dropped.
Yeah.
I got a late waiver claim on Sunday morning and got him. And I played him over Ingram. And that difference in points, I would have beat Kenny. I just wanted to beat Kenny. I just wanted to beat Kenny.
You didn't listen to Stan. Yeah. You didn't listen to me.
Well,
you didn't.
Jordan Reed, a healthy Jordan Reed. That's tough.
Well,
I wanted
that's
to play
the thing.
Ingram.
I don't think he's healthy still.
Probably not. That's probably just stupid.
No. Just had enough of him. So I knew he was dropping him.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to go for him because I like Brate. He scores a touchdown every week.
He's good. Solid play, Cameron Brate.
And he has no more bye weeks. So if he stays healthy, he's playing every week.
Right. And then, it makes me wonder why that team drafted O.J. Howard in the first round when they had so many other needs on their team.
This is the same
Brate
team
has
that
the most.
They drafted.
He has the most.
Buccaneers.
He has the most red zone touchdowns in the last 2 years. By the way, Cameron Brate.
That's incredible. And Aguayo.
Out of anybody.
So I looked it up, by the way. So Aguayo, who's drafted by the Bucks. I looked it up. It's his little brother playing for Florida State right now.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's kind of like the Blades brothers in Miami. There's like 10 of them, I think.
Yeah, this is like this move over Grammatica.
Yeah, it's like the Aguayo kicking factory.
Roberto.
It's
your daddy, Roberto. Bobby, it's your daddy, Roberto.
So anything else from this NFL weekend?
No, I mean, we'll do our picks for next week in the next couple days, and we'll preview some of our games. But Rye, tough one yesterday. You so excited, Celtics coming back, looking good in the Eastern Conference. What happened, my man?
Just an absolute heartbreaking moment. And I think it coincided with that big Gary Sanchez hit yesterday that I missed. But I put on this. I'm having the Celtics game on, and Irving throws this back. Hayward has a backdoor screen. He goes up for an alley oop. He comes down funny on LeBron's leg, or kind of on LeBron a little. Hits the floor. And he just knew immediately. The air went out of the building. And this game is in Cleveland. This isn't in Boston. This is in Cleveland. And the air went out of the building because everyone knew. You could see it. His foot, his ankle was just bent the other way. It was just gruesome, bad to look at. And it's just 5.5 minutes into his Celtics career. Just not what you wanted to see, with high hopes for this team. And I still have these high hopes, but honestly, to make it to the finals, this blow could really change that. We had hopes of beating the Cavs to make to the finals, and now I'm still rooting for it. I still think we're gonna go for it, but the chances of that happening have diminished tremendously after Hayward's injury.
Dude, that was one of the worst things I've ever seen in sports.
Yeah.
Injury. Holy shit.
It reminded me of that kid at Louisville a few years back. Let me tell you something. Gordon Hayward took that thing like a champ. He dislocates his ankle, which I didn't even know you could do, but I guess it makes sense that you could. He dislocates it and breaks his tibia.
Yep.
And he's looking at that thing. He swivels around. I don't know if you noticed it. After he hit the ground, Jaylen Brown caught the rebound and dunked it home for the putback. And in that process, his leg is still dangling under the players. So he does this swivel around and gets out of the way. Yep. I don't know how the hell he did that. And then he's looking at his leg and he's not. I don't know how. I'd be like, oh my god, or crying or something. This guy took it like a freaking champ, like a man.
I think it's got to be. There's got to be some shock setting in, actual medical shock to see that your one a bone is just that incorrectly placed. Maybe didn't feel the pain right away with the adrenaline and maybe a little bit of that shock. But if I saw that, if I looked down at my leg and saw that, I mean, that's got to be scary as hell, man.
Well, it's
got to be
horrible. I mean, everyone in the building, the Cavs fans handled it tremendously. The Cavs players, the Celtics players, when teammates are crying on the bench, that's not good. That's not good.
Think of a rookie that was on the floor that night.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a rookie or two starting on either side, or even
Tatum started for Celtics.
5 minutes into your NBA career, you see that. Geez,
I know.
Tough to experience, tough to watch, tough all around.
Very tough.
You don't want to see that.
You just see one of these things happen, and just words can't describe it. You just every person in the world probably wishes him the best. Even I saw the Utah Jazz tweeted something out at him and his wife, and just wished him a speedy recovery, and I thought that was great. But after this happened last night and today, I got text messages and phone calls like I lost a family member.
Yeah.
Because this is one of those bad ones, man, and it's just gruesome. I know how it is losing Rodgers for the year, but the look of this injury.
Yeah, the shock value of it, it's anyone who watched it, and there's probably some people who are avoiding watching it because of what they're hearing about it. But I watched it, and it's your stomach just kind of drops.
Turns.
What?
Yeah.
You see the human body could a bone be that incorrect. It's tough to watch.
Did you hear Kevin Harlan call?
Who?
Kevin Harlan was doing the game with Reggie Miller. Did you hear his call of play?
No. We didn't hear it.
Well, he's like, oh, Hayward goes up for it, and he's down. Oh, he falls funny. Oh, Hayward's leg is broken. His leg is broken. He didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough as an analyst or an announcer. Like, how do you call that?
Yeah.
I was actually, he said it twice. Almost like when you were listening to it, it was like someone hitting the reset button or the rewind button and playing it again. Like he didn't know what to do. I was thinking about this. It's very possible that over this guy's super long career as a broadcaster, he's never seen anything like this.
No.
Yeah, maybe not.
Probably never will again. And maybe that call was like a half basketball call, half calling for help.
Yeah.
He probably didn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah, exactly.
That was yeah. I know it's sad and frustrating. The funny, an interesting thing I heard about this injury was when it happened, and the medical staff comes out and tends to him. They actually popped his ankle back into place. This is what I heard. They popped his ankle back into place, and that could have saved his foot.
Did that happen on the court?
On the court. This is what I heard. On the court. There was, if you look, there was a bunch of guys around him. And somebody must have popped it back into place to get the blood flow going, because a lot's going on there when you break and dislocate. Oh my God. But I was told that because of that, it could have saved his foot. I mean, think of the magnitude of that statement I just made. Could have saved his foot.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Very serious injury.
Very serious. The crazy thing to me about it is like last night they kept talking about him not going to a hospital in Cleveland, that he was going to be flown back to Boston before any surgery was done. I thought he was going to be in surgery like right away.
Yeah, no, he traveled with the team, didn't he?
I think so, and they flew him back to Boston. I guess he'll get it done there.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is, like you said, some people haven't seen this play. I've never seen this done. Handled it pretty well. So they only showed the play once. They didn't They never zoomed in. They never zoomed in on it and showed it. They just showed the play once, and then at the half, Ernie Johnson with Shaq and Barkley and Kenny Smith was like, "Okay, we're going to show this. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. We'll let you know when you can watch again." And they did, and that was it. They never showed it again. And I don't know. I appreciated that because
thank God.
Like I remember when I think it was Kevin Ware, I think his name was, on Louisville.
Yeah,
that was his name, right?
I think Kevin Ware or Kevin Ward. I think it was Kevin Ware. But like they showed that thing and kept showing it, and
they showed it like 60 times.
I know, and I think I liked the way TNT handled it better than CBS did that day.
One was.
They showed it so many times. His bone was sticking out of his leg.
And you remember that one? That was on one of the courts with the raised courts, and the bench was set down, and it was right on the sideline there. He went up for the three, right? And they said, I think it was in front of his own bench too.
Yes, it was.
So like the kids on on the bench sitting there get that at eye level, like 3 feet from their face. They said a lot of the kids had to go into the locker room and throw up.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I mean, injuries like these are just.
Well, they said they could smell it too.
Yeah, like. Ugh.
I don't even want to know what that smells like.
No, I don't either.
That's awful. The fact that it even has a smell makes me queasy.
Right.
It really does. dude.
But so after this play, I'll talk quickly about the Celtics game one against the Cavs. Game I've been looking forward to for a very long time. Right away, puts a damper mood into it. Like, only the Celtics, only this, just only me could have this happen. After the Mets and the Giants suck ass, this was what happens. Game one of the Celtics season. But anyway, what I saw in the game, the Celtics played with a lot of heart and fight after this happened. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, guys that are like 20 and under, played phenomenal last night. Brown with 25 points and Tatum with a double-double in his first game. I think he's only like the second Celtic to ever do that in his first contest. And Kyrie played well. Like he didn't put up the 40-point game that some were expecting, but he played very well, 22 points, 10 assists. Didn't shoot that much, shot 17 times. He had a chance to tie the game at the buzzer. It made the net move, but it was an air ball that just swished the net. But it was for a second there. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And it didn't make it. LeBron is like on another planet like usual. But I like what I saw from this team. I liked what I saw from the young guys and Brown and Tatum. I liked what I saw from Kyrie. Al Horford did his thing. He didn't have a great game, but he played okay. But I liked what I saw from Marcus Smart, who would post up Manute Bol if he could. This guy posts up. He's like 6'3", 6'4", and he posts up 7-footers sometimes. He would post up Manute Bol, I'm telling you, or Shaq if he could.
Manute Bol.
They put Kyle Korver on him a few times, and that was the Celtics offense. All right, we're going to Smart, post up Kyle Korver, and it worked 3 plays in a row. And then finally they took Korver out. I'm like, damn it. That was 2 points every time down the court. And then Terry Rozier, who's going to get a lot of minutes this year. Smart's already plugged into the starting rotation now with the Hayward injury. So they're going super small with Irving, Smart, Brown, Tatum, and Horford in the starting 5. But Terry Rozier played well off the bench. And having Terry Rozier and Shane Larkin, who coming back from overseas, hasn't been in the NBA in a few years. He played like 5-6 minutes. He was moving around faster than anything. Just a thorn in the side of Derrick Rose, like just chasing him up and down and in his pocket the whole time. And if guys like that can give me 5 minutes of that every game and just mark the other team's point guard for that long and not get beat and just wear him down, I'm going to love it. Aaron Baines, this big guy from Australia or New Zealand or whatever, but he had some grit and he had some toughness out there that I loved having at the center position. Just a big guy that's not going to take any shit from anybody, and he's going to stand up for his teammates. And I could see us, I still think we'll be a playoff team. I still expect us to be there close to the finals or in the Eastern Conference Finals facing the Cavs. And, obviously with Hayward, we have a better shot at it. But I expect us to get back there to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I did like what I saw from Game 1. Unfortunately, it was after a monster career-threatening injury. That's definitely going to be out for the year for Hayward.
Yeah, really rough, dude. And they just lost tonight to Milwaukee.
Well, yeah, there you go. 0-2.
0-2. But it's a long season. It's a long season, brother. It's a long season. But yeah, basketball season. I mean, this is the time where there's just every sport, all the major sports are going on at once. It's almost like you can't, you're never going to miss something. You think you're going to have a day off, but holy shit, basketball's on. You think you have another day off. Nope. Hockey's on. It's exciting. It's fun. It's it's overwhelming, but it's fun.
You can't sleep. You got to stay up till like 1 o'clock every night.
Well, that's you. I got to get up at 5.
I'm exhausted.
I get up at 5. And guess what, Mike? We're not even going to talk about the Rangers. They're 1-5-1. They're pathetic.
Dog duty.
Vigneault sucks.
Get rid of him. Done. Holy shit. We got the Islanders tomorrow. Please just salvage something for this week and beat them because I can't stand that team. They think they're good. They're not. They suck too. Oh, frustrating. But you know what? We'll be back in a couple of a couple days with a new pod. Mike's excited. He's getting ready for Game 6 in Houston on on Friday, right? On Friday
night, 8:08.
Friday night at 8. Friday night at 8.
Severino.
Verlander Severino.
Great.
That's right. So hope everybody enjoyed this nice lengthy pod. We had a lot of good discussions going on, some baseball, some football, basketball. Didn't even touch the hockey because it's pathetic. But we will. We will get into it. But for now, we're going to head out. Make sure you guys are following us on our iTunes account. Please subscribe, download our podcast episodes. Check us out on SoundCloud and YouTube as well. View our channel. Give us some views. And check us out on Twitter too. We tweet. Send us some questions at The Angry Hacks. We'll be back in a few days. So we'll leave you with that and a good weekend of some sports action. So enjoy the night, everybody, and take it easy.